This is Jerry Satterley of Texas Avocados. It is 1 week before Thanksgiving 2017, and I was out here watering my trees. And for the first time, I really took a good look in a couple weeks. I've been preoccupied with remodeling my house. I remodeled 4 rooms and kind of neglecting paying attention. I still water my trees, but haven't paid attention. But this is my little Joey tree that froze back, and it just overwhelmed me with the way it's grown. It's every bit of 6 feet tall now, and these are cabbage heads, and it's fixing to bloom. And it is real. There's a week before Thanksgiving, and this stuff is starting to bloom. Not everything is blooming, but this little Joey is. Now this is one that froze back during the freeze that first week of January of this year, and in March it was about 6 inches tall. Like you can see where it froze back and came out new. So I'm had kind of a overwhelming sense of awe about this little tree and the way it has grown. So anyway, I got kind of excited when I realized that. There's some other things kind of worth talking about. I haven't said much about these for a while, but on these big trees, I cut the bottom layer of limbs off. You can see the big grande tree over there. There's several reasons I did that. There's a lot of fruit that comes up on that, but everything's on the ground. And so, when I do that, it enables you to see what's going on, and the limbs will eventually sag down again. And every so often, you need on these bigger trees. It's not necessary on the small trees, but so this is something that's been kind of interesting to see how they grow. And I've also been very interested in my lemon tree. It's almost doubled in size. It's up 10 feet or so, and lemons are starting to get yellow. So I love lemon. Okay, I'm an avocado guy, but I still love my lemon tree. So you just have to, over one person said, "What do you talk about lemons for? This is avocado." Okay. I still love a lemon tree. So anyway, I'll always have one. So my Don Juan trees that I planted are doing well. I just planted them Labor Day weekend or in that area. And it's doing quite well. I think these new growth buds are preparation for bloom buds, but we'll see in a few more weeks. A Charlie tree, it's doing well, and this is just growing, and it's a little smaller than the others, but it's growing quite well. And I think many of these little growth buds will eventually be bloom buds. And the bigger Don Juan, it's growing a lot. It's filling out. It's growing some vertical, but it's growing wider than anything, and just filling out. So there's a lot. It's interesting for me, and I have some really huge navel oranges. Those things are huge, and it was. Remember, this thing froze, and this came from a late bloom. Then the smaller ones are from a second bloom. So those things are bigger than grapefruit. Of course, I watered them quite well, but everything is growing and continuing on. We've had some cool weather, but no cold weather. But last year we had a real mild winter, except for 2 days, and it was 20 degrees for 2 days, and after that it went back to being warm. My big trees, let me get where you can kind of see them. They continue to grow. You see all that new growth up on top? It just amazes me. A year ago that was 10 feet tall. And it's every bit of 18, and somewhere it's pushing 20. I don't, it's kind of hard to measure them up. I'm just estimating that as an 8-foot gazebo right there, or patio cover, and it's up beyond the double 8 foot. So everything is just growing good, and my poncho that I'm so proud of, let me get over here where you can see it. It's getting a bunch of new center vertical growth because I had that gazebo over it, and it was growing out the sides, and now it's getting a bunch of centered new growth. These things will, for the most part, be more vertical trees, and it was somewhat unnatural to have that gazebo over it, and it grew out to the sides. But it makes it wider, but in the end I think it will make it better, instead of just straight vertical like a telephone pole. So I'm just proud of all these trees. There's not I don't have a dud among them. So God's blessing everything. You see them big old giant palm trees in the back. And there's mesquite trees there. So this is kind of to me a paradise. So God bless you. Hope you enjoy this.